So guys, welcome back to the channel. Another video for you. This right here is the Be Happy LED party speaker. Now, it is only $5. It is a Five Below product, so you already know how this video is going to go for the most part. But there's only one reason why I purchased this. It says it has a long-lasting battery, and when I see things like that, it makes me kind of second guess some products and the quality that they're actually going to give me. Now, if you flip this over, here are some of the tech specs. We have Bluetooth 5.2. Distance is about 32.8 feet, which in reality means basically 32 feet, the typical Bluetooth range before it disconnects. It says speaker size, 3 inches. Okay. Output power, 3 watts. We have the playing time, because of the part that matters, 1 hour to an hour and a half at 80% volume. So I would assume that it could play a little bit longer if it's at a lower quality in terms of volume, but I'm just going to go based on the specs right here. And oddly, it takes 3 to 4 hours to fully charge this thing from 0 to 100%, which is a clear warning sign that this speaker I don't think is going to have the power that, it claims it does in terms of being loud and stereo sound. I could be wrong, but you also can connect 2 speakers to it if you have a second one, though for this video, we're only going to do the 1 speaker. Now, with that being said, timestamps are in the description for the person that doesn't want to watch me just rant. Let's get right into this video and not waste any more time. All right, so I have my trusty Punisher knife right here. Obviously, don't flick a knife open like that. That's just what I do. I'm used to it. I'm gonna cut this open right here. Get this real fast. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. This is a weird bottom. I should probably cut it from the top, but what's done is done. Plus, I don't really want to damage the box up too much, especially if I decide, if the speaker turns out to be good, I'll be giving it away sometime toward the end of the year, so no need to destroy the box completely. All right. Let me get that off here. We're almost done. Is that good enough? Yes, good enough. All right, so I'm gonna put the trusty knife away. Thank you, Punisher. Here we are. So this is the speaker itself. Of course, I'm opening it from the bottom. It has plastic already on the speaker. I want to put that on the floor. So it does come pre-wrapped. If it doesn't come wrapped up, 9 times out of 10, someone probably took it back. Here is the speaker itself. Ooh, it's a little old-fashioned. It does use micro USB, as you can see right here. You have your power on and off button right here. And then we have the USB-A, which I'm assuming, I don't know why that's even there. This doesn't look like it takes any type of SD card or anything, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Inside the box, we have the micro USB cable. If you have your own, you should be good to go. You won't have to worry about the little itty bitty one that they normally give you inside the box. And we do have the actual instructions, which is kind of important for people that want instructions. Let's open it up right now. As a matter of fact, no, we're going to come back and do a dedicated section just for this part right here. So I'll have that in the timestamps for you guys that want to skip to that part. So let's take a look at the speaker first. So, I gotta be honest, this does look cheaply made, especially if you look at the handle right here. It's like this is, I don't know, it looks pretty cheap. If you press on the speaker, let's say you accidentally sit on this or you accidentally put something heavy on top of this, it's a possibility that you can actually dent the outside of the speaker. So please be careful of that. We do have buttons up top, which I didn't even notice this. So this looks like the mode right here. Pause and play, I would assume. Volume and change the songs if it has that feature. And the actual button that allows you to change the LED lights, the RGB LED lights, whatever you call it. So pretty simplistic speaker, nothing to really write home about. It feels very cheap. I'm gonna be honest with you, it does feel cheap. Though what I will say is you do have these little pieces on the bottom. Normally the stands, they're built in, but normally you have some type of felt tip, which if you're looking at this, it looks like they decided not to put the felt tip on the bottom like they originally were going to. I could be wrong about that, but it's just, you can tell that this is definitely a cheaply made product right off the back. But again, $5, Five Below. That's the price tag that we're used to when we go to those stores anyway. So let me not just downplay it. Now it does come in multiple colors. I happen to buy this one, which I'm not even sure what color this is at this point. But either way, yeah, it's pretty basic so far. So here are the instructions for the actual product for the people that may have lost this piece of paper and need to figure out what this thing actually does. But luckily in the video, we'll test it out also. So it says features, includes getting started, caution information over here. We have Bluetooth connection, turn on speaker, be happy, that's the name of the speaker, be happy HBT264. And you're actually able to pair this to two different devices, but I'm not going to do that for this video because we're only using one. There are your panel buttons right here in the back and the actual instructions right here. So just so you guys know, the USB in the back right here is not meant to be plugged into a computer, but rather you use a flash drive to plug this into it, and you could change the mode where it'll read the USB-A and you can play music from there. That's for the person that does not have a Bluetooth device or doesn't want to use a Bluetooth device. You have alternative ways to actually use the speaker. Now if we flip it on this side right here, it'll let you know how to use the FM radio. Like I said, there's the USB, charging speeds, not charging, but charging. RGB lights tells you how to use it, TWS, the specifications right here that we talked about initially. And just, you know, FCC statement, a bunch of things that you don't need over here. So for the person that needed this instruction, make sure that you screenshot that, or take some type of photo so you'll have that for your records if you happen to come across one of these speakers. So the syncing process on this is going to be extremely easy, but for anyone that's wondering that may have lost the pamphlet, or you might have a problem syncing, don't feel bad about that. I'm going to show you guys how to sync it to multiple devices. One's going to be a phone, the other is going to be a Steam Deck right here. And for the first example, let's do the Steam Deck. Now with that being said, if you flip this on the back, I'm not even going to tell you the process. I'm going to let the speaker tell you for you. Watch.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
That is a very cool feature, I have to say. Now, most Bluetooths don't do this. You just power it on, it makes a couple of noises. Some do tell you that they're in pairing mode, most don't. But luckily, this tells you immediately that it's in pairing mode. Now, if for any reason this doesn't pair immediately, in terms of saying that it's ready for pairing mode, it's a possibility that you might have had it connected to an older device that's still in the house. So make sure that you delete it. This does not have multi-point. Multi-point, for you guys that don't know, means it can hook up to multiple devices at the same time and switch without any type of transition. It just works flawlessly like that. These speakers do not have those features. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to Steam. Excuse me. Do I need to cough for a second? Apologize for that. Now, when you go to the setting, we're going to go all the way down to where it says Bluetooth, right? And right now, it's currently searching for this device that is in sync mode. It says right here, Be Happy HBT246. That is the name of the device. We're going to click it.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
There you go. As you can see, it is connected right now. You have nothing to worry about moving forward. Now, what I will say, if you want to connect this to a different device for video purposes, I am going to, unsync it. As you can see right here, press forget device, which means that it automatically forgot it. And in order to resync it, and I'm going to show you, you don't go to search again. You turn it off. Give it a second. Turn it back on.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
There you go. And that is how you sync it to another device, since this does not have multi-point. For you guys that were wondering, that might be going through this issue, it's a possibility that you still have a device in the house or in the vicinity that's still connected to this. So you want to make sure that you press forgot, kind of like I did. And well, not kind of, exactly the same process, though. Phones might look a little bit different. Don't worry, you should be perfectly fine. Now, with that being said, I want to show you guys how to sync it to an actual phone. Now, to sync this to a phone, we're going to go through the same process, but instead I'm going to use an actual Android device so you can see where to go into the Bluetooth settings. Keep in mind, this is a Motorola device, so I mean, there's not much more to say to that. It's a Motorola device, but the syncing process is normally the same for practically every Android you go through, including Apple devices, though I don't have an Apple device, so I can't give you a definite if it will sync to that, because Apple's a little iffy with what products they allow people to use, but it should, technically.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
All right, so it's ready to pair. Let me go ahead and type this in. All right, so what we are going to do is go to the settings. If I can, you know what? This is too much work. This isn't my phone. So it's a lot more work. Here we go. Settings. I'm sorry, what did that say? Oh, you're looking at Cardi B. I'm like, let me make sure that this is something that I can put inside of a video. All right, anyway, we have the Bluetooth right here. Now it is currently searching. Oh, pair new device. Sorry. Some Bluetooth, as soon as you go to Bluetooth, it'll automatically look for devices. And as you can see right here, it says the Be Happy HBT264. I'm going to go ahead and tap that. It's going to ask you to allow contacts and things like that. I'm going to press pair.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
And you are good to go. Pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing else for me to honestly say about that process. Now let's move on to the next section. So like I do for every single music video moving forward, I'll let you guys know that I'm actually going to just use the bare bones basic file manager music player. So there is no extra features that have been changed. I haven't put on Dolby Digital or anything like that. The sound that you're about to hear is directly from the speaker with no changes whatsoever, as is. And I think this is a pretty good test. And we're going to do two tests, naturally. One is going to be music through the speaker. The other one is going to be the Steam Deck itself. We're going to go ahead and play through this in case someone decides that they want to hook this up to, let's say, a Nintendo Switch or some type of portable device for a better sound, especially if they're playing in bed. Listen, everyone has a different lifestyle, so I figure let's kind of try a little bit of everything. Now, if I can find the file manager for this, here go files, make sure there's nothing crazy on here. All right, continue audio. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do Warzone first. Sounds very good. Whoops, shake the cam. So the speaker is very clear. It's very loud. I have to be honest with you. We haven't done vocals yet, but we're going to check that in a second. I will also want to say that if you tap this button right here, which is the function, not function, but the button for the sound, you can have a solid red color, a solid, well, oh no, actually it changes. Oh, so it does change. It changes slowly. Interesting. You can have one where it does the spectrum of colors right there. Blinks. This is actually some pretty, I like this. This is actually a pretty cool speaker. Outside of the physical color, which I would kind of wish I got a different color at the store because this looks very cheap, the sound is actually very good. Now I want to play another song for you guys. It's actually called Fire and Ice, or Ice and Fire. And this one has vocals, so you can get a different idea of different quality of sounds and if the speaker is worth purchasing. Okay. Sounds good so far. Did I hit that?
Baby, you give me ice and fire.
For that part of the video, we're going to end the music right there. But let me just go ahead and say that it sounds very, very clear, crystal clear even. I didn't have any issues with vocals. When it came to bass, the bass was definitely there. You heard it yourself. There's nothing really negative to say about it. Like normally when you turn volume up and down in certain music, it just doesn't sound very good. And it doesn't, is it still playing? There we go. So basically, it sounds very good in my opinion. I like the way it sounds. I don't have any issues whatsoever. What I'm going to do is hop onto the next section. Got to give my wife back her phone. Her mom called. You guys saw that. And we're going to do the Steam Deck review while I talk about the quality of sound. All right, guys. So the speaker quality that you're hearing right now is in fact coming from this guy right here. So I'm going to set this up, let it sit here, and I'm just going to play the game a little bit so you can hear the quality of the background noise. Because normally with these types of speakers, right, sometimes they disconnect from Bluetooth, especially if you use them in the past, or it doesn't do a very good job of, what's the word I'm looking for here, keeping up with the sound of the game, the background, the yells, the screams, the stomps, everything. But this is really good, surprisingly. Especially for the $5 price tag. This is actually better than a lot of the speakers for $5 at Five Below. So far. Well, needless to say, they didn't make it. Turn that down a little bit. Oh, for anyone wondering what this game is, this is Dead Space 2. And yes, it still looks this good even on a Steam Deck. Some games age pretty well, believe it or not. Alright. Okay. So I did notice that when there's like loud explosions and sounds, the speaker does kind of kaput, just kind of go out for a second, and then it recovers itself, realizing that it probably can't deal with the output volume of whatever is happening in the game. So please do be aware of that. So if you're a Super Smash Bros. Player and you have a Nintendo Switch and you try to use the speaker, it's a possibility that the quality of sound won't necessarily be there because, you know, it's a $5 speaker. That's why I think these reviews are very important, because not everybody played stuff, right? And they're concerned about music. People use their speakers for more than just music, podcasts, different things, you know.
It hurts. It still hurts. Yes, I'll schedule you for another session tomorrow.
All right, let's keep going. Just make it another minute or so. No need to keep it going for too long. But Dead Space has a lot of noises, so you'll tend to have a lot of monsters and events, amongst other things. So this seemed like a pretty good test to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. So to talk to you guys about the quality of the speaker, let me just say this. When it comes to music, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. It's actually very clear. It sounds very good. Vocals, everything sounds great. I don't think you will go wrong with this particular speaker. Granted, initially when I first started this review, I was under the impression that this was going to be a bad speaker, but it turned out to be actually one of the better ones from Five Below. So Be Happy is in a bad company. Like, who would have thought, right? When it comes to playing games, now, even though I tested Dead Space, I did try other games like 7 Days to Die. That was perfectly fine. That's a slower paced game. The ones that require more sound, more explosion, more action happening in the background, the speaker is going to stutter and lag a little bit. And it's no guarantee when that is actually going to happen, especially during gameplay. I can't sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that it gets better. I can't tell you that. Now, if you're playing basic 2D side-scroller games, you should be perfectly fine. If you use it for that, if you're using this for podcasting or playing some type of YouTube video, you should be, whoa. Yeah, that's Dead Space 2. For you guys, like I said, haven't played, definitely a violent game. Anyhow, let me go ahead and pause that. So it'll be a kids channel. Anywho, kind of. Actually, it's not a kids channel, to be honest with you. But the point is that the quality of sound is there. I do like the speaker for the $5 price tag. As a matter of fact, this outperformed a lot of the speakers at $7 and $10, which, again, it doesn't have crazy amounts of bass, but it's definitely enough where it makes a difference. If you're in a room by yourself, and keep in mind I'm in my little computer room at home, it overpowers anything else that's playing, especially if you're just having regular conversations. I had to turn it down for that reason, because I didn't want you guys to not be able to hear me with the speaker playing in the background, and that's actually a good thing. It means it has decent volume. But if there's multiple people in the room, obviously the speaker is going to be drowned out. So, you know, keep that in your mind when you decide to purchase it. But again, I don't have anything really bad to say about it outside of, yeah, it skips from time to time if you're playing a video game, which is graphic intensive and requires a lot more for the speaker to do, but it still succeeded, and I don't have any complaints. So let's test out the radio. So it says right here, we're going to have to put it in the mode. And I'm going to try to play this in radio. So the pause and play button scans for channels automatically. So let's try that. Where are we here? Here's the mode button.
Radio mode.
Okay, so it's in radio mode. Turn it down. Woo! Good Lord. So if you hold the button right here, which is to change the song, it'll bring the volume down. If you hold it up, it'll bring the volume up. If you tap it, it'll change the song. So, in case you guys are wondering, we now know. It says if I press play. Is it press or hold? Let's see. If I press scan, all right, it's going to automatically look for stations. It's doing that now. It's pretty clear, actually. Yeah, it's clear. It's very clear. Now I'm going to keep the volume down for obvious reasons because I don't want this video to be copyright struck because different music is playing in this video at the moment. But yeah, it just goes through the process right now. Depending on where you are, let's say you're inside your house, you should probably be fine if you have some type of decent outside connection. I don't know how radio waves exactly work, so don't quote me on that. But when I do this at work versus at home, I normally get static at work. At home, the speakers actually, every station that is playing, for the most part, sounds very clear. Yeah, sounds clear. Clear as a radio is going to get. Obviously, playing a song directly from a streaming service is going to be substantially sharper. But our radio stations, they don't sound horrible at all. But I'm going to go ahead and stop it. It's currently still actually searching through radio stations as we speak right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. This is actually a pretty good speaker. I am not mad about the quality of the product. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't show you about the USB-A section, but that you just plug in a hard drive, not hard drive. You plug in a USB stick with music on it, and it should be able to play it. And how you navigate is basically the function buttons right here to change songs and change the volume. It sounds pretty good. I like the speaker so far, and I don't think you'll go wrong if you end up purchasing it. So with that being said, let's close out this video and ask, hey, is this actually worth the asking price? To give you the short answer, yes, this is worth $5 without a doubt. This has a hour-and-a-half battery life if you do 80% and higher, which I did verify. It did last about an hour and a half, hour 15, hour 20 minutes, given the 3 times that I have charged it and used this. But that was at that higher octave. If you play it below 60% or so, I'm not too sure about the battery life, but I'll leave that to you guys to figure out. I just wanted to verify what this box actually said. The speaker does work. The quality is actually pretty decent. Outside of the battery life, there's not much to really write home about. It does connect to the Steam Deck. It connects to phones with no issue whatsoever. Granted, you did see it skip a little bit, like that one scene with the Steam Deck, but you have to understand that there's a lot of sounds playing in the background when you're playing video games. Actually, I would say that it's actually a lot more happening in the game, especially if you have a headset on, than an actual song, which is rendered and what's the word I'm looking for here? Nothing different happens in a song. It's safe. When you play things like Call of Duty, different video games, you start noticing if the speaker can keep up with the quality. And granted, it did stutter a little bit on the Steam Deck when playing Dead Space 2. It didn't stutter during 7 Days to Die. The other games that I tested, like Ender Lilies, it didn't stutter because that's a more subtle game. It did stutter during Call of Duty, not Modern Warfare. It was Cold War, and I was playing zombies. I did that off screen. It did stutter a little bit, but for the most part, it kept up. And again, it's $5. What are you expecting? Played with my Nintendo Switch just fine. For me, I don't have any issues with it. It is without a doubt worth the $5. Do I would suggest a different color because this color is kind of bland and just bleh, but it works very well. Anyway, any questions? You know what to do. Like and subscribe like always, and I will see you guys in the next video.